Hey guys, and welcome back to Culture Boys, a show where two guys just want to have a chat. I'm Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by Pepe. And this week, we are just chatting, just having a convo, bit of a chin wag.
Yeah, here we are. Sorry, I had a bit of stuff stuck in my throat there. Yay! Just chatting. The funny thing is, like, me and Nathan, like, before records, we always like, oh, let's get those, like, we do a little like like throat clear kind of thing. Like Nathan did it this, so he always does it. Like, he even did a little nose thing. That makes it sound like he did cocaine. He didn't do cocaine. He just like got some gremlins out his nose. Not literal gremlins, bogies. But I had a bit of phlegm there, and that's how I make that conversation last for about a minute. Yay, just chatting.
Good God.
I've got a can of Monster, and I just started drinking it. I think like it's already hit me.
Jeez.
Oh man.
It must be because you're coming in with some kind of energy today. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know where it's come from, to be honest. It's just here. It's just here. I haven't done anything special. I woke up like, I don't know, 9 o'clock today.
Jeez, man.
But like, it's a weird one because I went out yesterday with some mates who just went to. You've been to Flight Club, haven't you? Darts place.
No.
Have you not been? Did you not go for one of our friends' stags at all? I don't think you did. Did you not go to that?
I don't think we did. No.
Oh, okay. Well, Flight Club, darts place. Throw darts, it's fun. There's all these different like games. It's like virtual board, all that kind of stuff. It's a good time. It's a good time. But went out with some mates yesterday there, and like the thing is, it's good. It's good because my friend actually had got us like free tickets to this thing. So like
Oh, nice.
usually it costs I think like 20 quid per person, and you get like unlimited pizza, prosecco, and obviously like an hour and a half's worth of games or 2 hours worth of games. It might even be more than that, but my mate got it for us for
Bro, unlimited pizza? What?
yeah. It was like a bottomless brunch kind of thing, but it was like unlimited pizza. But it was like I'm starting to think maybe it must have been worth more than 20, right? Because
Well, yeah, unlimited pizza and Prosecco is like...
unlimited pizza and games as well. It's like
But do they kick you out after your, like, 1 hour or whatever? Like, after your game session is done, do they kick you out or...
they said, oh, you can have a table if you want, but a lot of the tables are already booked. So it was one of those ones where you're like, oh, we might as well just shift it then because like all these places are already like kind of reserved. So we just left.
Yeah.
But like it was nuts because I don't think I had anything to eat that day either. So I turned up and went straight on the prosecco. Obviously, there's pizza there as well, so you're not like getting like fully ratted or anything. But but like it hit me by like we were out and then it hit me like 5 o'clock, and like I just had a massive headache. Like I don't drink prosecco ever, so it's never my drink of choice. So getting to there and like just hit like something just hit. I just hit a wall, and I was like, I'm done. Like CBA, I'm going.
Not enough pizza.
Honestly, like the pizza was so good as well. It was like like sometimes when you get pizza, it's like it's either like a thick base or it's like Italian style where it's quite floppy.
Yeah.
This one was like a really crispy base, so it's one of those ones where like it's thin, but you pick it up and it doesn't flop. It's like it stays quite solid. Like it's a very like crackery kind of base where it's like it's nice and like yeah.
Yeah.
And like they had like a goat's cheese topping, caramelized onion, like all that kind of stuff. It was really good pizza. Like so
Sounds pretty good.
surprisingly good for a place that doesn't like it isn't its specialty. You know what I mean? It doesn't advertise itself as a pizza place. It's a darts place.
Yeah.
Very nice pizza. Would recommend the pizza at Flight Club 100%. But what was I saying? Yeah, got home at 5. Just went to sleep for about 5 hours. So I woke up at like 10:30. I was like, oh, what time is it? And then I think I woke up. I played a little bit of Switch, and then went back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Back up at 9. That's all it is. And I think that's why I woke up so early. But like usually, if I'm out a day before, I'm waking up at 11. I'm waking up at 12. I ain't like doing. Yeah, that's the rundown of my weekend so far.
Bro, I woke up like an hour ago.
Yeah, I don't expect any less from you, bro. I'm pretty sure like even the people like on on this our listeners, that's what they're called. If they're like continuous, they know that you ain't getting up. Like
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like, it's not like my sleep schedule's changed at all, you know? I still go to bed really late by normal standards.
Yeah.
but like I've just been waking up like a little bit earlier than normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, I wake up and I just feel like I haven't slept at all. And I just like, you wake up and your eyes are still just heavy and you're like, I want to go back to bed. I hate everything right now.
See, for me, that's not really waking up. That's me being like, okay, I'm staring. I'm going back to sleep.
I mean, normally, yes, I would go back to sleep,
Yeah.
but got
Yeah,
things to
yeah,
do.
yeah. Podcast to record, that kind of stuff. Funny enough, like what I was talking to you about the other day, this is off podcast, but I was asking you about the price of Fire Emblem Free Hopes.
Yeah,
Like, because I've been looking to, I kind of like, when you just go through phases, like, I want to play Warriors game right now.
yeah.
And like, I've been like feeling like, oh, I want to play that again. And obviously, I was looking around, I saw it for 25 quid in a CX, and I was like, maybe I'll get that. Maybe I'll get that and play it. And you told me specifically, don't buy it for that much.
Yeah, no, don't. It's a good game
Yeah.
and it changes up the story slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a fair amount, to be fair. Uh, but like at the end of the day, it's a Warriors game.
Mm-hmm.
So like £15 at most, especially because it's been out for quite a while.
Yeah, isn't it?
I would not pay more than £15. It's a great game. I really enjoy it, but I wouldn't pay more than that.
It's so hard to come across those kind of games like at that price as well, because obviously it's a Nintendo game. So usually if a Nintendo game is worth £15, it's like probably one of the it's been out for a while if it is. And I think even like the normal Fire Emblem Warriors doesn't sell for that price, I don't think. I think you have to be quite lucky to find it that price. So
Bro, I don't feel like you find many games for that price now.
nah.
They're either like the little kids games or they're like real bad.
Yeah.
Like they've just been absolutely destroyed by reviews and whatever, and they're like, cool, it's a bargain bin crap, here you go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel like there's nothing at that price anymore, man.
I'm trying to think like what is around that price. It's like you said, it's a little kid. It's like that like shovelware kind of like stuff in it.
Exactly that.
Yeah, but the reason why I got onto this topic is because I've actually been playing the OG Fire Emblem Warriors again, like recently.
Oh, that wasn't a bad game, if I remember correctly. I haven't played it in a long time.
It's one of those ones that like I remember when I played it. Like I finished the story mode and did a little bit of, that extra mode, the history mode that they do, where it's like it's a map and then like you just go around fighting enemies basically.
Yeah.
No story, just like basically just going bit to bit. So I've been doing that again. So just like been training up my characters, been doing that. This is it's a Warriors game, you know what I mean? You don't have to put much thought into it at all. You just gotta be like, yeah, cool, button mash, run around, kill a bunch of enemies,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But it's been good to get back into that again because I remember I started the history mode and then drops it straight away because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 released around that time, I think.
Yeah.
So I think I was like, so I got this on and I'm like, okay, cool, moving on to another game now because I finished the story mode. I don't need to do much. Like for me, that's like the kind of like at least I've gotten someplace with it. The story mode for it makes you feel like I've accomplished something with this game.
Yeah, but I mean, like, for a Warriors game, that's what it's always like. You're like, cool, I did however much of the campaign, everything else is extra. And a lot of the times, the extra stuff is just like, did I enjoy this game that much or did I not?
Yeah.
Because if I did, then okay, I'll keep going. But if not, then it's like, yeah, whatever, finished, I'm done.
I tell you how they keep you going with all of these Warriors games, like the crossover ones anyway. It's always like, oh, you can beat the story mode, but you can do the extra mode. Why do I want to play the extra mode? There's characters there, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, fine, yeah. And like the thing is with like Fire Emblem Warriors as well is that like it doesn't give you a lot of room to go to the next. Like you got to train up so many characters in these levels, and I find that like it's getting to the point where I'm probably gonna have to grind in a Warriors game, which is never really that fun, really, because you still want to play the game and like beat all the enemies and stuff.
Oh, man. Grinding in a Warriors game.
But you still want to feel like you're progressing a bit. So, like, all my money is going on, like, leveling up my characters, because that's always an option in Warriors game.
Yeah.
But it's running out quite low. So, like, it gets to the point where I'm like, I got no money to actually upgrade my characters. That's another part of it. You can level up all you want, but you've got to do all that. That was it, the chain stuff. Like, oh, you got to, like boost their stats and all their, like, resistances and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And That's the problem that I'm having right now. I'm like, I've got money sinking into leveling up all these characters, but I don't have the I don't have the money to actually upgrade them, which is becoming a little bit of a annoying.
Bro, that reminds me of like playing like Dragon Quest Heroes.
Yes.
And the first one, I remember being like, there was one point I was like, I need to grind. And I would just like, I would clear out this one map because it had like high level enemies
Mm.
and it was just a straight line.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So like, you would make your way down one way
Mhm.
and get all your XP, and then you turn around and they respawn.
Yeah.
So you just keep going back and forth, back and
Right,
forth,
yeah.
back and forth. And because I remember at one point in that game, I was like, I cannot clear this unless I've got my characters to a certain level. And then like the second one was like that. I felt like I needed to do a bunch of grinding
Yeah.
for like mid game, which was weird.
Oh,
And then
right.
I was just like, I ended up finishing the second one.
Yeah, I never got that one. That's like, I think it's that I wasn't in the right headspace to play it. Like, because one was like a great game. I did love playing Dragon Quest Heroes 1, but like number two, I don't know, I tell you what it was. Right, it was I think it released in the UK around like 2017. I think it did. Like something around that time.
Something like that.
Because I remember when I first got my Switch, I registered an account with the Japanese eShop. And on that Japanese eShop, there was a demo for Dragon Quest Heroes 2. And I was like, oh, they're bringing it to the Switch. That's amazing. I'll wait for that. It never came out on the Switch over here.
I mean, I got it for Christmas on PS4.
Yeah, it only came out PS4, yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't think we were ever supposed to get anything besides the PS4 release over here.
Yeah, I think at the same time as well, because the Switch was so early in its life cycle, and given how the Wii U went, and arguably the 3DS was on its dying, its last legs, like for Square Enix, they'd be like, wait, why are we releasing this game on a console in the West, which we don't know if it'll sell well or not? And realistically, it might not have.
Yeah.
Realistically, when you're getting your Switch on day one in 2017, you're getting Breath of the Wild.
What, you're not getting Lego City, whatever the fuck it was called?
Or if you're like me, you buy Super Bomberman R. And I think that's going to tide you over. And I'm like,
Oh yeah, you bought the best game.
honestly, like, probably the biggest regret. I was like, why have I got this game? I'll tell you what it was. I was trying to, like, I remember having the Bomberman DS game, and I played that for hours and hours and hours. You know, like the first Bomberman DS game, not like the ones that the sequels after, which had all this other stuff. It was just a simple Bomberman. You walk around, put a bomb down. Like, it's just basic Bomberman.
Yeah.
But it was on the DS and it was so good. And I got so heavily invested into it. And I thought, oh my God, I'll get the Switch and then it'll be like that all over again. It'll be like, hey, it did not give the same vibes at all. For some reason, the Bomberman games now, or Super Bomberman R at least. Wait, is Super Bomberman R the re-release one, isn't it?
I think there's a second one, isn't it?
Is Super Bomberman R the one they released on the PlayStation, like after the, like, because I remember it was exclusive to Switch at the start. I think it might have just been called Super Bomberman, you know? I don't think it was R.
I don't know.
Either way, like what they did in Super Bomberman is they added all these. They gave the Bombermen the personalities and stuff. Like before, it was just, oh, here's all the different colors of Bomberman. But now, like, white has a personality, black has like a personality. They all got like these weird like seven dwarfs kind of thing where they all have like a really weird trope.
No.
And it is like I played it, I was like, this is just really weird. Like Bomberman's Bomberman. You don't necessarily need a story to it. I don't think so anyway. And like, yeah, it just really surreal to me that they gave these people traits. Like, just give me a standard Bomberman where I can just go around and do my thing and that's it. Maybe they thought like we need to make Bomberman more sellable, like more appealing. Let's give them personalities in this, but just give me my simple Bomberman. I just want my simple stuff, you know what I mean?
All I could say is I'm pretty sure Bomberman is Konami, so that explains something.
Right, okay, yeah.
I don't know like exactly what it explains, but I feel like just by linking those two things, you're like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. uh, but yeah.
Bro, you like all this talk though. I want to play a Warriors game now, but I'm like, what's the? I don't think there's been a latest one.
Which one would you play?
I don't know. I've played all the ones that I want to play that have come out recently though.
I think the last one that came out actually probably was Three Hopes.
Yeah. I think it was
Because before that, there would have been the Hyrule.
Persona.
No, wait, would it have been? Would it have been the Hyrule Warriors one? You know, the Breath of the Wild version.
I already played that too. No, that came out before.
Did it come out before? Yeah.
I think the Persona one is in between that,
Right. Yeah. Is Persona Striker?
of which I've also played that.
Is Strikers an actual Warriors game? Like, yeah, I know it's like a Warriors style, but like, I wasn't sure if it's made by Koei Tecmo and that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
It was good. That was actually a really good one too.
Yeah. I remember it being quite hard. Like when I tried it. The first time, I thought it was quite hard.
That one is like a lot more removed from Warriors than normal like crossover ones.
Yeah.
It goes heavier into the Persona aspect, but like you still get your Warriors moments.
Yeah.
But I would highly recommend that one.
The thing is, I own it. So the annoying thing of it is that I own it, and I haven't played much of it because immediately when I jumped into it, it was like all the characters were there, the ones that like past where I got to in the game originally. So I was like,
Oh, spoilers, yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna get spoiled straight away here.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that when I first played it. I was like, oh crap.
You will for sure, because Strikers takes place after the original Persona 5
Yeah.
story. So like you should not, if you haven't finished Persona
Yeah.
5 or at least Persona 5 Royal, like don't, because it takes place after the original story.
It's so funny that I bought that day one. I did not need to buy that day one.
No, you didn't.
But I think it's because I didn't realize I didn't realize that it was a sequel.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. That's why. I think if it was its own standalone game, then like
I think this is one of the first times though that like Atlas have like gone, yo, some of these spin-off games, like people love this one group so much, we're just gonna make everything link.
Well, the original Persona 4 Dancing All Night was a sequel as well. I remember that because I finished Persona 4 and I was like, oh, okay, I want more content. So I bought Dancing All Night and I was like, wait, this actually is a sequel right now. It's because they meet up with his name was Yu, weren't it, in Persona 4? Yeah, which is quite ironic. You meet up, like all the characters meet up in a different place, so they meet you, and then it's they go around and
Oh yeah, because I mean, spoilers for
yeah.
Persona 4, I guess, because even though it's old,
Yeah.
it's very old. You've had plenty of time. Yeah, because at the end, Narukami leaves Inaba.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense that you would have to, all of them would have to meet somewhere else.
So they go and meet him afterwards, but they go, yeah, I think it's the whole group goes and meets him, and then that's where it all kicks off again, where it's like, shadows, but you have to defeat them by dancing.
Well, it's like some of these Persona games, like these are like spin-off ones that have like a continuation of the story, are really funny. Because like at the end of most of these Persona games, it's kind of, if you do like a lot of the true endings, it almost wraps it up. So it's like, and we never had Personas again.
Yeah.
And then you go and play like, especially Persona 4.
Yeah.
Right? Where they're like, the true ending basically is that we never did it again. And then you hear that and you're like, oh, so they do still have Personas and they could like, they're just done with the TV world.
Yeah.
That part of their story's done, but everything else is like, no.
Did you play any other of the Persona 4 spin-off games? Because there was like a few on the 3DS, weren't there? Like Persona 4Q, I think it was.
No, I didn't play it either Q or Q2.
Yeah.
Mainly because they were made by the Etrian Odyssey studio.
Yeah.
And like I just wanted it for Persona. I don't like the dungeon crawling. Like I don't
Yeah.
like Etrian Odyssey. I've tried to play them before. I just don't like it.
Yeah, same here. Like, I think I tried a demo at one point when the 3DS did those like downloadable bits, and I think I was like, I just couldn't get into it at all.
Same.
It's just one of those things, just like never hit really. I think at the time as well, even though I finished Persona 4, I think I was like still playing other stuff because I think I finished Persona 4 in late 2015, basically. It's a little timeline for you here. And at the same time, around that time, Pirate Warriors 3 had just dropped.
Oh my god, what a Warriors game.
Which is like, it's so funny because Pirate Warriors 3 is actually so much better than Pirate Warriors 4. Like,
Dude, Pirate Warriors 3 is way... 4 cannot hold a candle. 4 was such a disappointment.
It was a step down. It was a step down to it. Like, because, like, one set the standard where it's like you just play as Luffy and then you get all the other characters, like about like 11 other characters once you finish the game or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
2, they like, oh, we've expanded the roster quite a bit. So I think you had like 25 characters. And then 3 came through with like almost every major villain in the story so far up until Dressrosa.
Yeah.
And it was like, that felt like, oh, this is a definitive One Piece like and Pirate Warriors game, like everything's here. And then the 4, they just cut that right down. They were like, yeah, okay, we're like scrapping stuff like Skypiea, like any of the East Blue stuff. Like you're going, I think you pretty much start off straight in Alabasta, and then like it just kind of weirdly like just goes over like, yeah, they cut it down all that.
Plus, like most of the characters, like you unlocked most of the roster quite easily.
Yeah.
And then it was like littered with DLC after.
Yeah.
And it got to that point where it felt like it was like, I don't even care anymore. Because it was like, oh, like, here's some more costumes. Like, I don't want costumes.
The crap thing about the Pirate Warriors 4 DLC as well was that it gave you characters, but it gave you no characters that you actually care about. Because it was like, oh, you can now play as Charlotte Smoothie. And I was like, why do I want to play as Charlotte Smoothie? It's like, there's some people that I'm sure have some fans of her or whatever, but like, I did not care for that character. Like, but you're missing characters, like playable characters like Kuma, for example. Enaru, he's not playable. Moria, none of those 3 characters are playable, which were in Pirate Warriors 3. And they didn't bring him back or anything. Like, bear in mind, they had like characters like Odin. Like Odin's passport. I think Odin has a pretty sick backstory.
Yeah.
But it doesn't tie into the game at all. So they end up adding a bunch of these characters. Which
I remember that too, actually. Yeah, because the game ended before any of that happened.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, why would Odin be in it?
Yeah.
Besides the fact that, it's relevant to the...
At the time, yeah.
Manga.
Yeah. It was like at that time where, God, it must have been like, I think it was airing around the time that game came out, or like just after maybe, or around that time. But it's a weird thing. If Wano's been going on for ages in the anime, but regardless, like all these characters, you didn't really care about them, so why would I want to buy the DLC? Bear in mind, I did buy the DLC.
Well, I didn't. I bought that game day one, thinking like, oh man, I put like hundreds of hours into Pirate Warriors 3. I'm gonna fucking love this next one.
Yeah.
Finished the story and went, yeah, I'm done.
That is another detrimental thing about Pirate Warriors 4 as well, is that they actually finished the Wano story, but Wano hadn't finished the manga yet. So Gear 5 didn't even exist when this game dropped.
Yep.
So it's like they made up their own ending, basically. And I think they even put a disclaimer in the actual game itself saying, this is this is an original ending. This isn't how the arc actually ends, because like even Onigashima, I think the place, or whatever, wherever the place is.
Yeah. Onigashima.
Yeah, I keep on saying Onigashima. Temptation to say that, but like it doesn't even look anything related to what it looks like in the manga in the series. It looks nothing like it.
Man, I can't believe they did Please Island like that. Did
Yeah.
Please Island dirty like that, man.
I was genuinely thinking that they made a pun of that.
Not Devil Island or Demon Island. You know?
I was
Please Island.
I was genuinely hoping that they actually did like, oh, here's just a pun on please for some reason.
That really changes the whole thing, you know. Like, oh no, he's gonna drop Please Island.
But it's like kind of like, you know when like One Piece has that thing where they just like give stuff like really stupid names and you just accept it like it is, like, okay, cool.
I mean, like, I understand, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much better.
I mean, it makes more sense to be called Devil Island than Please Island.
Well, yeah. I mean, but it literally is Onigashima.
Or the gosh. Yeah.
Like the island, so Shima or island or whatever regarding Onis.
Yes, yeah.
Literally, so Oni Island. It might have been funnier to have. Then I think Oda would have just confused every Japanese person and every person who knows a little bit of Japanese for the rest of forever. Like, why was it called Onigashima Island?
Yeah. It's But it is like I feel like it's one of those things like in One Piece and in manga in general that like they just give places just random names.
Yeah.
Or like it's the same way that like there's literally a guy called Garlic Jr. Or like Garlic. I mean, bear in mind that's a filler character.
Yeah.
Or like Frieza, like King Cold. Like they're all just like named after this shit. Like, and you just accept it. You're like, okay, cool. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Like you don't argue with the creators.
Well, I mean, we are also talking One Piece where there's a literal character. His whole shtick is he is stuck in a chest. And he has a girlfriend that's in a barrel.
Man like Gaimon, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Everyone's favorite character. Yeah, I love that character is Oda's favorite character as well.
I know, that's just like, okay, sure. Whatever.
The what like because it feels like a filler episode as well. That's the greatest thing about that moment is that it was between Buggy and Kuro. So it's like really early days East Blue stuff, and it's just these couple throwaway chapters, and it's like, yeah, cool, that's my favorite. It's like he's doing it just to like anger people.
See, but that's like stuff like that reminds me like of a private. I say private, a conversation like that was happening in one of our like group chats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a friend of the channel, Sam Wilder, was like, "Hey, yo, the roster for Sparking Zero, the GT characters, almost every character you could ever want to play." And the first thing I did was try to remember the most obscure character I could think of. Because when someone says something in a group chat like that, almost every character you could think of, I was like, okay, you're talking to a Dragon Ball nerd here. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go deep for this one. And I think I managed to pull out a pretty deep one because it was like right at the end.
Yeah.
And it's the Goku Jr.'s friend from Puck from the TV special that takes place in between the end of GT.
Oh my god, yeah. I hate that TV special so much as well.
It's stupid. It's because it's dumb, isn't it?
It's like I remember even watching it as a kid. I was like, I hate this.
Same. I think
Yeah.
I left it on in the background. It's the first time as a kid I left some Dragon Ball content on as background noise because I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's so bad that even as a kid you pick up on that stuff. Like you just pick up like you don't even need to be biased like, oh yeah, GT's crap or whatever. Because like at the time, I don't know how you feel about it as well, but I still loved GT as a kid, even though like I was like, oh, this isn't as good as Z, but I still liked it.
I like parts of it.
But like it got to the point where like even as a kid, I was just like, oh, okay. This is this is just awful. You don't have any bias. You just know you don't like this thing, and it is just because it is just genuinely bad. That's what it is. It's not even because you have that.
I also don't like that this GT reveal for Sparking Zero
Yes, yeah.
hasn't revealed any characters I want. Where are my Para Para brothers?
Why? Why aren't you on?
Because why not? I bet you they've put what? I didn't actually look because I'm like, I'm gonna get the game, so I don't want to know too much.
Yeah, I actually haven't watched the thingy. I watched bits of it, but yeah.
But like, I bet you there's gonna be Rildo, General Rildo, the robot guy that turns into a drill or gets drill powers from that like robot planet.
Yeah, God. I need to look up what he looks like again because I'm trying to remember which one that is.
Rildo, you don't remember Rildo? He's like,
I probably will when I see him.
he's like red and yellow, and he was like, he loved Giru, and he was they were on that like robot planet, like super metallic, like chromey looking planet.
Dr. Rildo, Dragon Ball GT. Let's have a look. Wait, isn't this the same as Para Para Brothers? Or is that...
No,
Why do they look so similar? Am I missing something here?
I don't know why they look so similar, but they're not. They're not the same. I guarantee you.
Okay, it's slightly different. It's like a different color thing, but yeah, they look very very similar. You know what I mean?
I know. Oh, I know. Yep.
I know exactly who you're on about Rildo, because I actually remember those really. I think we talked about this before. You know those crappy Dragon Ball cards you got as kids.
Yeah.
I remember getting a card of him before GT had even launched in this country, and I was like, "Who the hell's this?" It's like, and he's like has all these points or whatever, and he's like stronger than Cell and that, and I'm like, "Who is this person? Who the hell is this?" And then it's like, "Okay, cool."
Well, I mean, it makes sense. He is stronger than Cell because
yeah,
he's
but
from GT after everything and the
Yeah,
blah, 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 blah,
it
blah, blah, blah.
just is, isn't it? He just accepts it. Like,
It's from the Grand Tour, Pepe.
I never realized that Dragon Ball GT had a different opening in America than it did here. Have you ever heard the Dragon Ball GT opening, the American one?
You mean step into the Grand Tour?
Grand Tour, step into the Grand Tour, Dragon Ball,
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it's like I remember this because I remember when I went to America as a kid. Like I think just remember those like Game Boy Advance videos, the ones where you can watch it. You basically just watch episodes of stuff.
Yeah, compressed as hell.
Oh, it is weird. It's so weird to watch it back. And it's like, oh, you can't play these on the Game Boy Player because you might get copyright and all this kind of stuff. You never know. Someone's gonna record it. It's like, who's watching this?
Who's recording this fucking
Yeah.
like 144p 4x3 thing? Like, fuck off.
It's mad, but I remember I was in America. Oh my god, they have Dragon Ball GT on the Game Boy Advance SP. I'm gonna buy it because I've never seen this before, and I got it.
Yeah.
And I remember like about to watch an episode. They do this intro, and I'm like, what? I was so thrown off as a kid about it. I was like,
They got done dirty in America because we just got Dan Dan over here.
yeah, we did it. Yeah,
So like for us, it was the first time we had like the proper like Japanese opening.
yeah, it wasn't it.
It hit different, but I even remember as a kid, like Dan Dan hit so hard.
It was so good, though.
To learn, to learn, you guys got step into the Grand Tour, Dragon Ball GT. God, I feel so sorry for you guys because that's just like
Yeah.
that is the 90s to a T because it reminds me of just fucking Dragon Ball Z.
But weirdly enough, was that the same as Rock the Dragon?
No, that was the one before Rock the Dragon.
I always put those two together, like Rock the Dragon and Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball. Like,
That's the worst part is that is the first one we had,
yeah.
and then we got Rock the Dragon.
Yeah, maybe that's why I kind of blend them together a little bit because it's like it's so early days or whatever. But it was like it's so mad because that isn't even like a 4 Kids dub or whatever.
No.
Because like 4 Kids are notorious for just doing these random rap things because like, that's what the kids will love. Like I remember watching One Piece, the 4 Kids dub, and it was like, "Don't give it up, Luffy, dreaming. Don't give it up, Zoro, dreaming. Don't give it up, Nami." And it was like, "Don't give it up." And it was like,
Oh god, the cringe.
it was bad, and like it wasn't even linked to that at all, which is so crazy.
Do you know what the worst thing is? Is that like in that time period where we had the English dubs of animes,
Yeah.
there were good openings though.
Yeah.
So why were the hyper shows had the shittest openings?
I think it's weird because I think like they didn't trust anyone to just keep with the Japanese openings because kids won't understand that because it's like it's too Japanese or whatever. They won't understand something in a different language is what I think they must have done.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't even like they dubbed over those songs like they do. Funimation does a lot of now, or at least used to do. I don't think they do it so much these days.
Well, I mean, like, okay, for example, you had like whatever that first Dragon Ball Z one is. I don't even fucking know. The Screamo Dragon Ball,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have Rock the Dragon. Not very good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have like Pokemon, for example, that always had great openings.
Oh yeah. Okay, no, that slapped.
Or like you got your that shit One Piece thing you just rapped
Yeah.
versus Shaman King, which had an amazing English opening.
Okay, yeah, that was good. That was good. Yeah.
Right? Had a banger. What the fuck, bro?
That is so true, yeah. But then you had like Yu-Gi-Oh as well, which wasn't even really that much of an open. I mean, it was epic. Don't get me wrong. Even though there was no singing, it was like
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh, the king of games. It's the most you got out of it at all. And then it's like, then it's the voiceover from Yu-Gi saying, "It's time to duel," and then that's the most you got out of it in terms of lyrics. But like, it still was weirdly kind of hype. It was so hit and miss, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, bro, even like fucking fake anime made up to sell us toys. Beyblade had a wicked opening.
Oh, Beyblade's opening was like,
It's like butt rock and it's cheesy as fuck, but like it was good.
yeah. I, I remember about Beyblade as well is that I watched the dub of it recently. Have I told you about this? Because you can just watch like dubbed episodes of Beyblade on YouTube.
No, you haven't.
It's like it's not even like you have to go anywhere special for it. It's just on YouTube. It's just there.
Oh wow.
And obviously you can see the points where it wasn't suitable to be like for like a UK audience or like a Western audience. So they just say something completely unrelated.
Oh, okay.
So, and it is just so random when you watch it back. You're like, oh, why has he done that? Or like, why is this kid hanging around? Like, like some of it is so freaking strange. It's such a strange experience watching that back. Yeah, as well, it's because like Tyson grows up in a dojo, innit?
Yeah.
For some reason, they don't want to mention that it's a dojo because it's like like they can't include like the sword,
But it's his granddad, like
the sword stuff, innit? Like he does like kendo and all this kind of stuff.
yeah, I was gonna say, but his granddad's a kendo master.
Yeah, but they don't say that in the dub. They say something completely different. So even though it's blatantly kendo, it is just like it's like because they don't want to mention swords or whatever. They just say something completely different. And
I'd like to think it's something horrific and
Yeah.
stupid on the lines of Brock's jelly-filled donuts.
it probably I think it is. You know, it is genuinely like everything about it is like they've censored it. Not even censoring it, but like they just transformed it so much. Like, no reason. Kids won't get this. It's too Japanese. Just put some lines in there and it's like...
Don't you love that old thinking? Like, they're not going to understand it's from somewhere else.
Yeah.
They're not going to get it. And it's like, okay, then, like, why bother importing this thing from Japan then?
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so... But that was like four... I think... I don't know who did Beyblade. I don't think it was 4Kids.
I don't know. I actually don't remember either.
But that was 4Kids' mentality a lot of the time. It was just like, oh, they won't get it, so we'll just change it. Like, even going as far to change the actual footage itself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talk about it all the time. The notorious Kaiba blocking finger guns with his briefcase and jumping out of the window and is like, dude, they were just pointing at you.
I tell you what it is what you see a very common occurrence for like those 4Kid shows was you know, like there's some points in like anime where it's like there's that like perverted joke where it's like, oh yeah, like it's like some kind of panty joke, and then it's like the girl will get mad and get like hits him or whatever. Like that is like a joke that's in the show Japanese as well. And then in the dubs, they obviously can't say that.
Yeah.
So what they usually say instead is like, oh yeah, well, this person stinks, and then they get angry like, oh, you can't say I stink, and that's what that's what they dub it over with. You see it more often than not, and it's like they replace that dirty joke with something that is such childish humor. That is,
Oh, God.
It's like the equivalent of saying Taya has cooties, and it's like I do not have cooties, and then smacks him over the head. It's like that kind of level of like the lines there is just it's so bad.
Good God.
Oh man, but how do we even get onto this topic? You know, like when you just like realize you just like I think we went from tangent to tangent, and it's like what?
Bro, that's just chatting, innit?
Yeah, that is just chatting.
That how it be.
Oh,
This
man.
is literally how Pepper and I just have conversations.
Yeah.
Like-
It is, yes.
It's literally hit record and then stream of consciousness, off you go. ADHD your way through it.
It is literally kind of like we just like I feel like there probably was an original point like 15 minutes ago where I was like telling a story, so now it's like it's gone.
Oh, I don't know.
But like Funny enough, I'm going to dial it back a little bit to the Warriors games thing and it also ties in with the Dragon Ball stuff we were saying as well. Like, did you ever play Dragon Ball Sagas at all?
Yeah, I hated it.
It was one of those games I always saw as a kid. Obviously, we didn't get it over here, though, did we? I don't think we did anyway. I never saw it at all.
I think we did, but it was so poorly reviewed. It came in very limited quantities.
Yeah.
And I found it in a really random store when I was in uni.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So I didn't even get it when it was new. I bought it in uni for like £5, and it
Yeah.
was a waste of my £5.
I heard that because that's one thing. Because I always saw it and I was like, "Oh my god, I really want to get this Dragon Ball game." Like when I was a kid, because I always like used to see it on the internet and stuff. But I was like, I can't find it anywhere. I only realized like a few years later it was like a Warriors style game, right?
And it was awful.
Yeah, and it was just awful. Yeah, that's all I heard. Yeah,
Basically, like, it controlled awful. They tried to do some stuff that, like, I was just like, this isn't Dragon Ball. Like, it just doesn't.
yeah,
With warriors in Dragon Ball should be so simple.
yeah,
They fight with their like hand-to-hand combat. Just send them in, right, with a wave of people.
yeah.
You did it with Ken's Rage. Fist of the North Star. Later on, after that, why could you not have done it with Dragon Ball where you just walk and fight? The fuck is wrong with you?
What was wrong with it then? Like, was it just not that then? Because like I imagine like on Namek, you just go fight waves and waves of Frieza's army, right?
Like, I just remember like the controls were really weird.
It was just right, really, yeah.
Like, I played it for maybe 10 minutes. I could not get behind the controls, and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then I don't even remember what I did with it, like the game. I must still own it. I just buried it somewhere amongst all my possessions.
Repress those memories.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I literally don't know where it's gone.
It's such a weird thing looking back at those I know we've already done an episode on Dragon Ball games, but looking back at it is such like a hit and miss thing. Like, because there were so many games. Like, obviously you remember the best ones like Budokai and like Legacy of Goku. Like, those ones were like everyone remembers those because they were so good. But then you always also forget how many bad ones there were as well. Like Super Dragon Ball, for example, that fighting game.
Oh.
Like that was really bad as a game. Then there was like
there was another one like Infinite something that was awful.
Was it Infinite World or something like that, or like?
Yes, that was also awful.
That was like the PS2 one that launched after the Tenkaichi series. Like, yeah, I'd never owned that. I think.
Yep, garbage.
I think we saw it after, like, when we used to go to those shops after sixth form.
I have it somewhere.
Yeah.
Garbage. Absolute garbage.
Yeah. I don't even know what that one plays like. I don't even know what.
That was another one where it was just like, what the fuck did you even do?
Even like Burst Limit was like, I did not like Burst Limit at all.
I didn't like Burst Limit either, and like I read online people were like, yeah, but that's basically Budokai, and I was like, didn't feel like it.
No, it was like, it did not feel like Budokai at all.
Fuck knows what that was, but it didn't feel like Budokai, I tell you that.
Nah, I remember that. Like, I even remember like getting the game, and I was like, oh my god, I'm super excited to play this, and I was like, this doesn't feel like it has the love that Budokai had in it. Like, Budokai was just like, that had something special, but this was, this wasn't it.
Yeah, there's so many Dragon Ball games like.
Do you ever have Taiketsu, the Game Boy Advance one?
Yeah.
It's one of the ones I think I only played it as much as I did because I was a kid, and I was like, oh, Dragon Ball. But it was like, for a Game Boy Advance game, it did not work well whatsoever.
No, it didn't.
That was bad.
There was what on Game Boy Advance? There was also a Dragon Ball like card game.
Was it the trading card game one? And it had Trunks on the front or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't understand the card game.
I had the choice when I was a kid to get either no, it might have been earlier actually. Like there was two games that I could have got. Like, I think I went to the shops one weekend with my parents, and they're like, okay, so there's a Dragon Ball game, and then it was like another one. Like, which one do you want? I think I chose the other one. I don't think I got the trading card game because I also felt like I've got like Legendary Super Warriors, which is almost the same thing. Like, it's a card battler.
Yeah, I could see why you would think that as a kid. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't necessarily need the trading card game. And it was always on the shelf as well. No one bought the trading card game one.
It's because it was not good.
Yeah.
I played it as a kid. I didn't try and play it recently,
Yeah.
so maybe I'd understand it a little more as an adult. But as a kid, I was just like, I don't get this, and I dropped it straight away.
Yeah. In fairness, I feel like if you did that with the trading card game, I have a feeling you ever played Legendary Super Warriors. I don't think you did you?
I played a little bit at your house.
Yeah.
Like you literally, I was like, oh, cool. What? I'd never actually played this one, and then you literally handed me a Game Boy
Yeah.
with the cartridge in, and you went, I'll explain anything if you got any questions. And I went, do you care if I start a new game? And you were like, I prefer if you didn't. And I was like, okay.
That's when it didn't have save files. Yeah.
I don't know. I was just like, I'll just go from wherever you are then.
Yeah. God, I can't remember where that would have been.
I don't. I think I was randomly fighting Nappa, not because you were at the Saiyan Saga, but like
It might have been like the arcade mode or something like that, because there was like a
probably.
mode where you just like battle, and it, like that's when once you complete the story mode, you just battle people, and it's like
I just remember like I was trying to understand and I was asking you questions and you would explain it to me and then I just turned the Game Boy off and handed it back and went, okay, cool. That was a game.
it's not something you can really explain like that either. It's a weird one because like you have to build up points in order to use the moves, but like like any card game, you pick up cards but you can't play them because you don't have the move, like the
energy or yeah.
yeah, it's the energy. Yeah. So, and a lot of the time it was like doing like command input stuff. Like, so if you didn't have a card you could play, you'd be like, oh, just do a basic attack where it's like you have like about 2 or 3 seconds to put in 3 buttons in the right order. So it makes it feel really pressured, and like if you fuck it up, like then the whole thing fucks up. But basically, I didn't realize what the actual game was as a kid. I did not know there was an energy system. I just I didn't know what did what. It was like I proper struggled with it, and I only realized how to play the game properly in uni, or like some like early sixth form or like late like secondary school.
It's probably because you actually read and intook the information.
Absolutely.
Whereas as a kid, you probably like stared at it and like words hit your eyes, but nothing actually ever went into your
Yeah,
brain.
absolutely.
So then you were like, play the game.
The thing is, that's how games were so different as a kid, because if you fail, you don't be like, I'm turning this off, I don't want to play this. You just keep playing until it works for you.
Yep.
That's what.
Until it works or it doesn't
Yeah.
work, and your parent, like, someone gets you a new game at some point.
It is like that. You just continue on. You just like I remember like I lost so much to like the early stage characters, which are very easily beatable if you know what to do. But I just kept on losing over and over and over again. And I was like, well, I'll just retry it. And like all I need to do is just actually read what the hell was going on.
See, but like for me, that was Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Like bashing my head against the wall and just like brute forcing my way through because I didn't pay attention to anything as a kid. I didn't even know there was like, you know, the type advantages and stuff. I just went through
Yeah.
and was like, my Pokemon that I really like isn't strong enough, so I'm just going to make them stronger until I win.
Yeah. Essentially.
And it's like, oh man, I'm really struggling against like Erica. And it's like, well, it's because I've got like no fire types, I've got no flying types,
Yeah.
like I've gone in with like normal types and shit. I was like, what is this kid even doing? Like Pikachu's still on the team for some fucking reason. Like, what are you doing?
It's mad because like even like right now, remembering back at those games as a kid, I don't even remember switching Pokemon into PC. I feel like there's a bunch of them in there, but like I don't remember, like I don't remember physically switching them or whatever.
I remember swapping mine all the time.
And at one point, I had a Zapdos on my team. I don't know how I got the Zapdos in the team. I genuinely don't know, because I had no logic there as a kid. I had no like, oh, okay, I've got to go to this place in the power plant, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you probably just ran through by accident.
And just caught this thing. And like, I had no concept of a legendary Pokemon either. I just caught this thing. So I must have been the luckiest freaking child there. Like, just like...
You must have,
Yeah.
because again, as a kid, we also would have had no concept of save before the fight.
Nah, absolutely not.
So we would have just run through, caught it or killed it or ran away, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Until someone else at school told you or whatever. And it was like, oh, did you know? And then you're like, what?
Yeah. I think like there must have been some kind of like guide at one point which I was making reference
Yeah.
to. There must have been, because you don't like it. Like, I remember at one point I think like I traded over Pokemon from one cartridge to another, and I think it was it was a Machoke or whatever, and it evolved, and I was like, what? It evolved. Maybe that will happen with my other Pokemon. And I tried it with my Poliwhirl, and I remember sending it back and forth 3 times in a row. Like, why isn't it evolving? Why isn't it evolving? And I was like, apparently it doesn't work with everyone. And I didn't realize that at all.
Oh man, I want to play Pokemon so bad though. Like I've been talking about it with some people recently, and I'm like, I want to play Pokemon, but I don't want to start a new file on anything because I'm like, I've played them all,
Yeah.
so I'm kind of stuck in this place where I'm like, the only one I haven't ever played is that Pokemon Green that I got back in 2019.
Right, yeah.
And I'm kind of like, do I want to struggle through that? I don't think so.
It's so hard to do that, like, because one, like, because it's in Japanese, it's fully in Japanese,
Yep.
and you don't know what move you're learning when the Pokemon levels up,
Yep.
and you find a TM and you'd be like, it says TM like 28, but what is TM 28? You have to look up what it is.
See, I would probably sit there and struggle and be like, what's that look like?
Yeah.
I think I understand. I think I
Yeah.
can read that. Is that katakana or hiragana?
Yeah.
Nope, it's a kanji. I can't read that. Can't read that. Can't read that. I would sit and like struggle my way through.
Yeah.
Like I'm a kid again, but for different reasons. Because I'm like, I could kind of read a little bit. And yeah, I think I could figure it out.
I only know this from experience because when I bought my DS, my 2DS, because I bought a Pokemon Green one, the special edition when it launched in 2016. I bought the Pokemon Green 2DS, and it's probably one of my best purchases I've ever made, like literally, because it's so cool. But it comes with a copy of Pokemon Green on it. So I was like, cool, I'll play through this. And then I struggled so much because I was like, oh, I need to do this. I need to find this Pokemon or whatever. And then you have a list of 4 moves and you don't know what the fuck they mean. So you're there like, I somehow did the Mew glitch on it.
Wow.
So I got as far as Cerulean City. That's how far, because I think my team in the end, I know for a fact I had a Bulbasaur, like Ivysaur. I caught a Pikachu in the Viridian Forest. And I think I had a Jigglypuff and I got a Mew. And I think those are my 4 Pokemon. Like, because I was being like, I want to catch Pokemon that I know that I'll like actually want to level up and stuff.
Yeah.
And geez, yeah, I think it was a struggle. It is. I tell you now, it is a struggle.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, I'm just gonna have to ignore this like want to play a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
If I'm not willing to restart on anything, then I'm like, I just have to wait until the next game. But the next game isn't coming out till next year, so
The only thing I could probably say to that is probably like maybe play a ROM hack, maybe.
yeah. But then I have to go find one that seems interesting.
Yeah, or like a randomizer. Those are the only 2 things I can really think of.
No, I wouldn't do a randomizer. I think that would stress me out too much.
Randomizers are fun, you know, because I've done a couple. I don't do like the what was it, like the Nuzlocke rules or anything. Like, I don't do that. No, I literally just want to play Pokemon, but with like all these like things mixed up.
Yeah.
It is fun. I did. I have one which is a Leaf Green randomizer, which is literally just the Pokemon are randomized, and I have an Emerald randomizer where everything is randomized. Like,
Oh god.
so it's like the Pokemon pop up and they all have different types. So like, it'd be like, oh, cool, a Mewtwo, which is somehow a grass type. And you're like, what? But you don't realize that until after you catch it. so you're fighting like, oh, okay, I'll just use this move against this Pokemon because it's weak. And it's like not effective. And I was like, oh, okay. So I have to guess what the typing is for that Pokemon.
God damn. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to look into a ROM hack or something, like a fan game, because I did enjoy Infinite Fusion when I played it,
Oh, yeah.
but it's been updated a bunch of times, so maybe I should go back. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, let's give that a shot. Like, I mean, you have to wait until sometime in 2025 for a new game, basically.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like,
That's the worst part. Sometime
yeah.
in 2025.
It's mad though, because I think Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out in 2022 at the end of it, which is crazy. And obviously they released the DLC a year after, so it's here's your next Pokemon content basically for your consoles.
Yeah.
But we've had like basically like nothing in like for so long, or it feels like so long anyway. Like because there's no holiday release for Pokemon.
And they didn't even announce anything at Pokemon Worlds. And
No.
Worlds was recently as well. Like
It's mad, isn't it?
that would have been a great time to just something, another trailer or something.
It feels crazy that there's actually like we have to wait so long for the next Pokemon game, which is arguably what fans have been saying. Like, don't put out a yearly release if it's gonna be subpar or not as good.
Yeah.
And arguably, it's like, okay, cool. Well, it feels like Game Freak or like Nintendo, like, yeah, sure. And now it's like, where's my Pokemon content? Where's my yearly Pokemon content?
Yeah, well, it's just because recently we had so much of it.
Yeah.
Like it was just like bam, 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 bam. Like here's a game, there's a game,
Yeah.
there's a game. They're like, whoa, okay, I got a lot of I got to play all this Pokemon now.
Yeah.
And then now we're in a drought because, they all came out so quickly that we were like, yeah, it's okay, but it's like not the greatest, Like there's things you could have done better with more time. And now we're all suffering because we're like,
It's weird. Like we even had an era where it's like, oh, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is out in November.
Yep.
And 2 months later, you get Pokemon Arceus, and you're like,
Yep.
what? What do you mean? Like, that was like so back to back, it was insane. But now it's like, yeah, nothing.
I did think about starting Arceus again.
I was thinking that. Like, have you got a second Switch as well?
I mean, I have another account I could just use.
Yeah, just do that because like you won't have a save file there, so you could just start on that and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I might do that because like that game's so good.
It's been ages since I played it. It's been so long, and I'm kind of like I'm quite tempted as well. If I wasn't on my Warriors hype, I think I would like go to it.
Well, I mean, I can't even be on a Warriors hype because I've played everything on that as well. Like,
yeah.
somebody help me with my first world problem.
Yeah. Oh, but we'll have to like reconvene at some point to see like, what we're actually playing because it feels like it's so like up in the air, like with nothing. But guaranteed, like this time next month we'll be playing Dragon Ball. Basically, that's what it's gonna be.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so something to get you past the next month or so until the next game actually comes out. But I guess we'll wrap this up here. We've been talking for over an hour now.
Yeah.
No, we'll wrap this up and yeah, I guess that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you for listening, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button for future Culture Boys videos. Let us know what you're playing right now. We always love to hear that. And links in our description. We have our X, and we also have our podcast platforms. Yes, they're there as well. And we'll see you guys next time for another Culture Boys episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.